raincoat will be far, far better. The drivers that may be driving, we are advising that they should drive carefully, slowly, and be watchful. And then the way it is, so it's likely to have a moderate wind. So if it's windy, they need to protect themselves. Lightning and thunder strikes will also be in there. So school children should be protected around this time. For the southern sector, cloudy, light to moderate rain showers is expected. Those of us over the Gulf of Guinea, the fisher folks, so we are having some isolated thunderstorms to our east. So they want to do fishing, they have to be a bit careful. But any other things, the state is also expected to be rough, so they have to be extra careful. Over the Guinea is not too massive, so they can maneuver around it, but with caution. Temperatures will be mild, very conducive for outdoor activities, except that we'll be having those on and off type of rain over the capital.
Okay, and when can we expect this on again, off again rain in the capital to begin?
Throughout this week, that's what the model charts are predicting for us. So it's going to stay a bit cloudy.
Okay.
And then we'll have in the morning and the evening, and at times the afternoons we'll have on and off. But it's not going to be every area where the clouds reach and they are full with moisture or liquid, and force of gravity falls on them. Definitely they will rain or drizzle over those places.
All right, Felicity, thank you so much for that update. Of course, we will connect with you if anything does change.
Yes, thank you so much, and greetings to everybody.
Thank you so much.
You are who you are yesterday.
And that was the weather forecast with Felicity Ahafianyo.
Is what you do.
Don't leave home without an umbrella or a raincoat this morning.
You never fail, you never.
She also talks about a heavy storm which should take hold the whole day in the northern part of the country. So do stay safe.
Shape you.
She also warns of some thunder and lightning. Let's make sure our young ones get to school and back safely. But again, a warm welcome. This is 3FM Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. A lot for you and I to sink our teeth into. The issues are plentiful. But as always, we'll go on a knowledge sharing expedition. Make sure you stay on top of the issues. If it matters to you, it matters to us. Very shortly, we'll get into what the dailies have for us this morning. Myself and Crosby, we have a number of papers in front of us. We'll run through the headlines and then we will take some details. Thank you for choosing to start your day with us. Sit back, relax. This is 3FM Sunrise on 3FM 92.7.
3FM Sunrise.
Sunrise on 3FM.
Start your day with Sunrise on 92.7 3FM.
Mr. Annan, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Helen. Good to see you again. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How did you sleep last night?
I slept well, although short, but it's normal, so it's fine.
Why was it short and normal? One dantem. Yeah, dantem. Crosby, go to bed early.
It's not me who is not going to the bed early.
Who is it preventing you from sleeping
A
early?
lot of things.
Wow.
Please ask what?
No, I asked the correct question. Who is preventing you from going to bed early? Not what.
It is a what.
It is the what.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure yesterday you were glued to social media like many of us were. And Charlie in Sempi. Yesterday I couldn't even keep up with the timeline.
Educated version of Antenna.
Wow. There was a lot going on. But again, we have some papers in front of us. We'll run through all of the headlines and then we'll take some details. Crosby, take us away.
Well, the Business Analyst newspaper is the first, and on the front page it says UK announces radical trading rules and tariff reduction on products from Ghana. The story is on page 6, comes with a picture of the Minister of International Trade of the UK. His name is Nigel Huddleston. There's also ratings agencies have been unfair and reckless in downgrading Ghana. President Akufo-Addo fires. There's a mention of the Bank of Ghana directing banks to immediately communicate fraud cases to alert others. The story is on page 5. There have been reports that when banks, identify fraud cases, what they do is they sack the individuals culpable and they don't, follow it up. They don't report to the police. So these persons, they go into other companies and then they've been able to rise up to the very top, although they're coming from some fraudulent background.
That's worrying.
On the front page also is 550 fisher folk benefit from Ghana Fisheries Recovery Activity. Akufo-Addo on a 6-day working visit to Spain, to France, and to the UK. And I know that after this visit, we'll hear from the ranking member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, Okujeto Ablaka, telling us how the president went.
Oh, has he been following up with that?
So I go to Spain, France, and UK.
Okay. You tell us we have intercepted documents.
Yeah, chief government, a chief opposition interceptor. On the front page of the Daybreak newspaper, there's anti-LGBT bail woos journalist. Mahama blast High Court over Boga MP, and then Art Center artisans reject ejection notice. How many times are they going to eject these people? There's also only 11 traditional authorities have succession lines in the whole country. So it means we're likely to see a lot of some chieftaincy conflict if we don't take care, because only a few of them have documented how they want their succession plans to be like. Also on the front page of the Daybreak newspaper, there's Akufo-Addo on a 6-day visit to Spain, Japan, France, and the UK.
All right, let me say good morning to William. Good morning to you. Hope you're well.
Good morning. Perfect by grace.
Love that. I've also got some 3 papers here. I'll run through the headlines and then William will finish with what he has for us this morning. The Daily Guide. I aborted Sarkodie's baby. Yvonne Nelson is pictured here, and she has a book out, a memoir, if you will, and it sparked so much conversation on social media. In fact, TV3 hosted a space on Twitter. I thought it was quite educative. We got a lot of angles in terms of the legality. If you have your own story to tell, how can you tell it? What can you omit? What constitutes defamation? And a host of other things as well. Abortion, women's rights. It spanned, the tentacles were far-reaching. But I learned a lot yesterday. I always say this. I say, if you want people... I always say nobody should stop you from telling your own story. If the people wanted an honorable mention, they should have done what? Honorable things.
How about the people who get pregnant and abort babies before they lose their virginities?
Oh, listen, I'm not here to get into the semantics. I digress. Let me move forward. The Daily Guide also has this to say. AG rejects Atuforsen payment plan. NPP's Akoto pulls billboard crowd. And let's invest in Afrexim Bank. Akufo-Addo speaking there. The Daily Graphic, chip embedded passports coming. I'll tell you who is saying that. And developing African economies build strong financial institutions. That's again coming from the president. 6,481 failed teacher licensing exam, and men with mental challenges advised to seek help. It's captured in both pages of the center spread. They think it's a big one, gentlemen. You need to pay attention to it. Grab the Daily Graphic and see why they say you need to seek mental help. Finally, the Finder newspaper. Dr. Koto files form, calls for party unity. I find it interesting, the picture that the Daily Guide used to accompany the story of his filing. The least said the better. But if you have a copy of the Daily Guide, you see what I'm talking about. So, can you capture this? This is what they are saying it looked like when he went to file. Hey, okay. Also, $6 billion bank inadequate to finance growth. President Akufo-Addo rallying support for Afrexim Bank once again. The picture here of Dr. Akoto, much more simple than what's portrayed in the Daily Guide. But let's move on then. William, what do you have, please?
This morning on the front page of the Anchor, failed MP aspirant drugs NDC chairman to Nugukpo Shrine as Anyaso to Eyezu Eyeza boils over alleged extortion.
Oh.
Yvonne Nelson is here again. Drops bombshell, reveals abortion secret with Sako, the DNA test with Peter Ala Ajete's kids. And basic education is collapsing, that's according to Dr. Park, as the Ghana National Association of Teachers members weep over basic education collapse. Reckless behavior of rating agencies caused Ghana, that's according to the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Ekufu-Addo. BNFT, Business and Financial Times, Akufo-Addo urges BOG others to boost Afro-Exim Bank's capital base, and IMF deal Oforiatta talks up agent reforms. Experts gather today at BNFT's ESS 2023 program to tackle food security threats, and Prudential Life launches new micro-insurance products. On the back page of the BNFT, vibrant private sector crucial to West Africa's economic growth.
All right, let's get into this story of Dr. Akoto. It says MPP's Akoto pulls billboard crowd, and I've showed you all the picture that accompanies that story just to paint a picture. Well, a new Patriotic Party MPP flag bearer aspirant, Dr. Owusu Efri Akoto, has justified the small throng that accompanied him to file his nomination papers, claiming he only garnered a dedicated crowd of believers in his bid. Okay, he says it's a small but mighty team. Forget about the razzmatazz. He came with a dedicated core team. You can see them here. They came ready for action. Let me carry on with the story. Page 2 of the Daily Guide. According to him, he is not intimidated by the massive crowds that have characterized the filing of the nomination papers by other contestants. Now, tens of thousands of MPP supporters and enthusiasts descended on the party's headquarters June 16th to support Vice President Dr. Bawumia in filing his candidacy papers. But Dr. Akoto told the media yesterday, after filing his papers, unlike other contestants who bussed people there, the folks who joined them did so on their own volition, with the majority of them being farmers. You recall, of course, Dr. Akoto is the previous Minister of Agriculture. So he said the farmers, they came in their numbers to support his bid. He's not intimidated by his peers who are, he said, bussing. I don't know who he was referring to. He said bussing those here and there.
These are the same farmers who came to pick the forms for him. So it is fine that
Farmers Alliance.
They go and accompany him to submit the forms.
Helen, did you say small throng?
As per the story,
I think the editor is playing games on the former minister, because throng, naturally, the natural meaning of throng is a large crowd.
It's a large crowd.
A large, densely packed crowd of people.
Crowd.
So if you say small throng,
I think
the editor is just
to
playing
be
games.
fair, right? If they say people throng to the area, you are imagining that they came there in numbers, in
big
droves.
Crowd,
yes.
With some razzmatazz.
Let's have a look.
There were people there.
Okay, look, guys, check it
there,
out, because
so-
in that first picture, you'll see behind him
But if
that there are
if
several people there. Check it out.
But if
people
they
there.
throng, then why do you say small throng?
Well,
Just so
Yesterday,
you know
somebody
that it's not a big
we're in a
farm.
meeting and somebody was asking, why do some people pick forms to file and attempt to contest? Why? I mean, because you look at them and I'm like, look, people have all kinds of reasons for contesting elections. The party is in its dying embers in terms of the second 4-year term. They would want to contest to increase their relevance in the party. Maybe they are in alliance with one of the front runners, just to go and spoil the other party's chances. Maybe they just want to test the waters. So you will never know why somebody is contesting, because you sit back and ask yourself, why would this man be spending sometimes 500,000 Ghana cedis to go and pick their form, run around the whole 16 regions of the country, get people to sign, knowing very well? Who tells you that he knows very well? He knows.
Who tells you?
maybe
No,
the
no, no,
confidence is there.
No, you see, human beings are rational beings, and some of the things
For
you
the
see,
most part. Page the Daily Graphic center spread, they have a message for the men. They said men with
but
anyway,
even,
let's move.
even mental patients have lucid moments, don't they?
Correct.
So if you're lucid, you are not off all the time. You have you seen a mental patient crossing the road before? Sharp. So this one is like crossing the road. No matter how bad your thinking or your faculty is off. I mean, no matter how bad it is, I'm saying to you that when the car is coming or a vehicle is coming, have you seen it? You know, they cross. So they know why they are there. So don't cry for them. Whether the throne was big or small.
You know, but
I mean,
I don't understand why you think that people know they cannot win. Why would you?
But once you sit back and you observe, but you see the language here is that Dr. Koto said that unlike those who bust, so he might be of the opinion that maybe a lot of it is just what we call fluff. It's not substantive.
When you're analyzing some of these things, I mean, I choose my words very carefully. You are saying win. Who says he's not going to win? Do you know his vision for contesting? If he achieves the vision, it's a win.
Okay.
Their vision for contesting is to become flag bearers.
No, you don't know.
So,
that's what the man said. He wanted to be. He wanted to
president.
He said he wanted to be the flag bearer of the MPP.
Yes, when they asked him why he wants to be president, so that he can be the MPP flag bearer.
I asked him further. I asked him about.
Are you the person who
the answer he gave me is that he cannot be president of Ghana if he's not flag bearer of MPP.
That makes sense, and I'm telling you.
Fair enough.
So I'm saying to you that if you say somebody will win, don't just assume that he's winning the candidature is going to win the presidency. He has his own.
I agree with William. His definition of success. Maybe he might have a target of votes he wants to reach.
When you're thinking about politics, don't think it like that.
No, why are you giving them different goals?
Because I think so. He might think maybe this is not my year, but if I get a certain number, then it will give me confidence to go another time.
Did you hear? Did you hear what Musa Dankwa said with regards to the polls? What's the name of his organization? Global Info Analytics. He said Alan Baumia front runners. There's a third force, Ken, and Ken is the kingmaker. If they tell you a kingmaker, you a loser. Master, you don't know.
That means your position is very instrumental.
Ken is
very strategic.
Ken wants to become president of Ghana. They all want to become president.
That one.
Relax for that.
Yeah.
So that's their goal.
No, that's true. But true.
More details there if you want to know how it went when he finally filed the nomination. Some excitement there. You can see it in the pictures.
Let me mention a comment that Boache Akopas yesterday. So I think he was concerned about some unfairness. So he mentioned that, you know, in the campaign process since it began, he has witnessed some aspirants flouting the rules, that no sanctions have been applied. So he was a little bit concerned about it. And this is the second time he's contesting. So he too wants to become president of the country.
What sort of rules was he referring to?
So he didn't really mention, but he mentioned when they come to submit the forms, they give them a copy of the constitution and then they ask them to conduct free and fair, transparent campaign, a clean campaign. Okay. And then he stood up and said he will follow the rules, but there are people who are not following the rules. He did not go into details.
He didn't go. Yeah. I wonder if he's talking about. Anyways, we'll never know. He didn't say what rules.
But the party insists that they are being fair, so they have not received any petition from his outfit over some unfairness.
I was going to say that.
I
think Mr. Jaku should concentrate on his campaign. And because without the evidence, some of these calls will not be taken seriously by the party because everybody thinks that they are doing the right thing. So I'm just praying that the level playing field is created for all of them. But in the meantime, you should concentrate. I think it's a fine material, but we haven't heard much from him. So
so this is the chance for us to get to know him.
Let's hear from him, and rather not worry about because in every race. There are some shenanigans that
people will make sound with your guy.
Oh yes, of course.
Don't forget Dr. Preku too. Dr. Preku was in the news yesterday.
Dr. Preku.
Okay, the center spread of the Daily Graphic has this to say: men with mental challenges advised to seek help. Men with mental challenges have been advised to seek help from professional sources. The head of Vital and Domiciliary Care at Nyaho Clinic, Dr. Kwabla, who gave the advice, observed that although many men struggled with mental health challenges, they refused to speak up due to societal stereotypes. He was speaking at a Day with Daddy, an event organized by the Mirror in Accra to celebrate fathers. Dr. Kwabla said, unlike women, men usually bottle up their emotions, and that such attitude had a negative effect on how they dealt with children, family, and colleagues. They subsequently developed coping mechanisms such as substance abuse, violent outbursts, aggression, amongst others. I only thought to highlight this story because we've been talking about romance murders quite recently and murder suicide. There you have it. And this story says if you don't seek help, you can lash out in aggressive ways. And I think it's becoming one too many. Yeah. We have to put the spotlight on it.
We have one.
Almost every week.
This week, jilted lover murdered his girlfriend in Koforidua. A jilted lover has allegedly killed his girlfriend in Trum, a suburb of Koforidua in the eastern region. The gruesome incident occurred on Saturday, just this Saturday, at Junction 5 in the Trum community. It is alleged that the victim had been in the process of breaking up with the suspects and had recently relocated to her current location. According to some co-tenants and the house where the incident took place, the suspect visited his girlfriend while at the naming ceremony in the house, and the deceased, believed to be 23 years, went outside to meet the suspect and brought him into her room, and that's where the thing happened. So for us to be having one killing almost every week since the Kumasi incident, then it means the men are getting under a lot of pressure. And the way the system is right now, and because of the fact that a lot of people are getting into transactional relationships, you enter into a relationship, I give you A, I want A, I give you B, I want B. If you go that way, we are going to have a lot of this. I mean, relationships should be supportive. So if the ladies should also know that if you don't like somebody, don't pretend to like the person and take stuff from them and then decide to go for another person and sometimes rub it in their faces. So
yes,
the mental health issues, I mean, somebody can just snap. It takes just a little, as we say in local parlance, touch kakra, then
and I think the men also have to sit up. If you also recognize that this person is not in it to be with you, relationships end all the time. If we're all to harm somebody because we're broken hearted, taking advantage of, the world will be an empty place. So let's be strong. Relationships end every day. Find the mental fortitude.
But it depends on how it ends.
Definitely.
Because if you claim to be with me, and then I see on your status that you have posted somebody. Those things.
Yes, but murder can never be the result, and can never be the answer.
The communication should be fair and square. Everybody should understand where they stand.
Absolutely, but it just so happens that we're seeing this that leaving your boyfriend or threatening to leave your boyfriend or eventually leaving your boyfriend can result in your death. I think we need to put a spotlight on this because it is getting too much.
SS2 students was
Crosby is cracking you up.
I tell you, I'm just looking at it from the lighter side right now.
Lighter side. People are killing their girlfriends and wives.
Why should I accept your proposal so that if I'm breaking up with you, come and kill me?
And it is all because of the transactional element. If you read almost all the stories, this man said you took my 5,000, you want to leave me. Boo. The gentleman in the US, Ohio, or is it Colorado, Ohio?
I think they were somewhere like that. Ohio.
I've taken care of you, blah blah blah. You came to Ghana, you want to leave me to go and do something. Boo. Then it's not. I mean, it's not.
It's
all
terrible.
of them are giving reasons of transaction. You took something from me, you promised me, you didn't.
Listen, women, when ask women who have toiled for men for years, they are in the house one day, the man comes, I've gotten somebody pregnant. How many families do we know where men have gone outside and done very devastating things? If women were to take the same approach and start, you had a baby on me, outside of our.
But last week,
it could be disastrous.
A woman also.
It happens. But more so on the other side. Why?
Because
why is that?
Men, as I'm saying, and I would just, as you're advising the men, I would also advise the women. They should know that men are more aggressive.
No, we can't take that.
That's the point.
We can't take that.
So if you're entering into a relationship with a man, I'm just saying
you should walk on eggshells lest you are killed.
You see, you have to be frank with the partner, the spouse. The man.
We'll throw a light on this for sure. On one of the
what
Fridays.
Has happened so far. The reasons have been clear. We are not just trying to know the reasons. All of them have said that there was a transaction and one party failed. And that party that failed, according to the shooter or the stabber, was the woman.
This morning, if you're listening to us, have fortitude. Life is tough. You can't go around killing people because of unfortunate incidents. It's not on. You cannot go around doing that.
It's not funny.
You cannot go around doing that.
Every week. There's one murder.
I think that's quite shocking. That's what's even reported. I'm sure there's some that slip by the wayside. But we'll take a Friday, get some experts.